Hello, my dear students. Welcome to the second module of the chapter Comedy of Errors written by Shakespeare. Now, in this module, you will understand the genre play and also you will learn what pun means. Now, this Comedy of Errors falls into the genre play. Play means something that to be enacted on a stage, something that is meant for acting to be enacted on the stage. So a play is a drama, and the word genre means it is a word used to differentiate different categories with different types of literature works, just like novel, drama, poem, prose, like that. So this falls into the genre play. Now, we have got an overview of this chapter in the last module. We already discussed about this lesson. We got an idea of what the story is about from the first module. Now, in this module, we are going into the text of this story, Comedy of Errors. It's just a part of the drama. It's just a part of the play, Comedy of Errors. We are just going only into one or two scenes of this play. Now let's go into the text. There are two sets of identical twin brothers, Antipholus of Syracuse and Antipholus of Ephesus, and their attendants, Dromio of Syracuse and Dromio of Ephesus. During their childhood, the brothers are caught in an accident at sea and separated. Years later, Antipholus and Dromio of Syracuse travel to Ephesus in search of Antipholus and Dromio of Ephesus. Antipholus and Dromio of Ephesus have no idea that their twins are in the city looking for them. Now, Antipholus of Syracuse has asked his attendant Dromio of Syracuse to take his money and keep it safe at the inn, and as he looks around the city. Dromio has just left to follow his master's orders, and Antipholus is alone. Scene 1. A squire in business district. Enter Antipholus of Syracuse. Antipholus of Syracuse to himself, Dromio is a good fellow. He is completely trustworthy and he often makes me laugh when I am worried or tired. But nobody can cheer me up right now. I am like a drop of water that is looking for another drop in the huge ocean and is totally lost and confused. Until I find my brother, I can't rest easy. Enter Dromio of Ephesus. So, as we have told, this is a story of two set of twins. The first one is Igion. He had twin boys. He named them Antipholus, two Antipholus. He named both the twins as Antipholus. So, and they have got as attendant. Attendant means one who serves a person. We can say servant, just like a servant, attendant, one who takes care of the things. So they have got attendants, a twin set of attendants, two Dromios. The attendants, the servants, both the boys' names were Dromio, and they were also twins. And during a storm, they got separated. These set of twins got separated. And now, one Antipholus and one Dromio, they were back in their place, namely Syracuse. So we can call them Antipholus of Syracuse and his servant, his attendant, Dromio of Syracuse. And the other Dromio and the other Antipholus, they reached a place called Ephesus. So one Antipholus of Ephesus and Antipholus of, uh, Antipholus of Ephesus and Dromio of Ephesus are together in the place called Ephesus. So that's why we call them Antipholus of Ephesus and Dromio of Ephesus. Now, when these Antipholus of Syracuse and Dromio of Syracuse became adults, when they grew up, they wanted to meet their brothers. They wanted to go in search of their brothers. So they set out in search of their brothers and they reached the place called Ephesus. But they don't know that their brothers are in this place exactly, but they are in search of their brothers, and they reached this place called Ephesus. And the Ephesus, Antipholus of Syracuse and Dromio of Syracuse, they have got a lot of money with them. Antipholus has got a lot of money with them. So they are in an inn. They are going to stay in an inn. Inn means a place to stay and can have food from there, just like a hotel. So they are staying there. So Antipholus, he told Dromio of Syracuse, you please stay inside the inn. You take care of our money. We have a lot of money and this place is not that safe. So you take care of this money, and while I go out in search of our brother, and he went out. Antipholus of Syracuse went out, and he was standing in a street. In a business square means it's a street, a place where a square place, often a large public place. So a business square means so many shops are there. So he was there and he was very tensed. He was thinking that I'll not be happy unless I find my brother. Only if I find my brother I'll be relaxed. I am just like a small drop of water searching for another drop in this big ocean. He has compared himself to a drop of water, and he has compared his brother to another drop of water, and this place as ocean. He has compared like that, and he was standing there and he was thinking of Dromio. He says that Dromio is a very trustworthy person. I can trust him fully, and he always makes jokes and fun to make me cheerful. But this time I won't be cheerful, because only if I find my brother I'll be cheerful. To that place, the Dromio of Ephesus is coming into that place. Now let's see what happens. Why are you back so soon, Dromio? Dromio of Ephesus. Back so soon? You should rather ask why I have come so late. The roast chicken is burning. It's 12 o'clock and the mistress is hot because the food is getting cold. And the food is getting cold because you haven't come home. And you haven't come home because you're not hungry. And you're not hungry because you have eaten already. But you can always ask for forgiveness for your fault today. Antipholus of Syracuse. Stop, stop. Tell me, where have you left the money I gave you? Dromio of Ephesus. The 6 pence you gave me last Wednesday, I used to pay the mistress Saddler. Antipholus of Syracuse. Stop joking with me. I'm not in the mood now. Tell me where the money is. We are strangers here. How dare you trust someone else with your responsibility? So, Dromio of Ephesus coming in. Antipholus asked him, why are you coming back just behind me? I just left the inn. Why are you coming out so soon? I have left you with the money. So Dromio told, soon? Sir, you have not come home for the lunch. It's already the chicken that we have kept in the oven is getting burned, and the food is getting cold, and the mistress is getting very hot because the food is getting cold, and it is getting cold because you have not come home. And you have not, you can, it's okay, maybe you have eaten from somewhere outside. You just come and ask for the forgiveness of mister. Don't stay here frightened of her. You can come home and ask for forgiveness. So Antipholus is thinking, what is this person telling? It's actually Dromio of Ephesus. He have mistaken it as Dromio of Syracuse. He's telling, he was thinking why this Dromio is talking some rubbish useless thing. So he was telling, you have left this money and came. You have entrusted someone else with the money. How dare you trust other people? So he was telling, which money are you talking about? The 6 pence that you gave me last week. I have paid the mistress Saddler. Mistress means a woman who employs the attendants. Means here the mistress is Antipholus of Ephesus' wife. So she told that I have paid the saddler. Saddler means a person who makes equipment for horses. So he told that I have already paid the saddler. Now I have no money left with me. Why are you bothered about that? Now the money is no more with me. So he's telling, he was very angry at this. He thought that he has done something with the money. Antipholus thought that Romeo has done something with the money. That's why he is talking some rubbish things like this. And have you noticed the use of the sentence there? The mistress is hot because the food is cold. See, it's a kind of, it's a play with the words. Hot and cold is together used there, but cold is used there to signify the temperature, whereas hot is used to signify the anger, a feeling. But we can interchangeably think of that. We can even think that the mistress is getting very warm because of the anger. So that's pun. Pun is the very playful use of words. Here he has used the words very playfully. Dromio of Ephesus, please, sir, I have come in haste from my mistress. If I return without you, I shall be dead, because she will punish me for your fault. Like me, sir, your stomach should be your clock, and the alarms should send you home without a messenger to call you. Antipholus of Syracuse, come, Dromio, this is not the time to play the fool. Where is the gold I gave you? Dromio of Ephesus, gold, sir? You did not give me any gold. Antipholus of Syracuse, oh come, you rascal, stop being an idiot and tell me what you did with it. It was your responsibility. Dromio of Ephesus, it was my responsibility to bring you home to your house to lunch. My mistress and her sister are waiting for you. Antipholus of Syracuse, where have you kept my money? I will wipe the cheerful smile off your face if you continue fooling when I have told you not to. So here Romeo is telling, Sir, I have come in a very hurry. Haste means hurry. I have come in hurry because mistress is very angry, and if I go back home without you, she will punish me for your fault. And for me, I always my stomach is my cloak, and it is the alarm. My stomach will give an alarm that you are hungry, come on, have food. Like that for you also, sir, your stomach should be a clock and alarm, and it should be the alarm to send you home by the food time, and you should not wait for a messenger to come and call you for the food. That should happen actually. So Syracuse was very angry because he was not in a mood to hear jokes. So he was telling Dromio, this is not the time to play jokes. And where is the gold which I gave you? And Romeo is telling, gold? Sir, I haven't seen gold for a long time. What is this? You did not give me any gold. So he was very angry and he told, stop being an idiot and tell me what you did with it. And have you lost it somewhere? Have someone taken it somewhere? What is it? It was your responsibility to take care of it. So he was telling, no, that was not my responsibility. My responsibility is to take you home. There your wife and your wife's sisters waiting for you to have the lunch. So this Syracuse was getting very angry, and he was telling, I'll wipe your cheerful smile from your face. He was very gay. He was very happily. He was calling. He was smiling and calling Romeo. But he was telling, if you didn't give me my money back, your smile won't be there on your face. Nah, so he told that I'm not in the mood. He told just that he is not in the mood to play jokes. What did you do with the 1,000 marks I gave you to keep? Romeo of Ephesus. Ouch! The only marks I have are the ones on my head which you gave me now. Your wife is hungry and waiting for you to come home to dinner. She begs you to come soon. Antipholus of Syracuse. What? How dare you keep talking nonsense when I have told you not to? Take that, you. Dromio of Ephesus, what are you doing, sir? Hold your hands, or I'll take to my heels. So, this Antipholus of Syracuse was very angry and he hit him on his head. So, he is asking, what did you do with the 1,000 marks I gave you to keep? Marks was the currency over there. Our currency is, what is our currency? Yes, rupee. Rupee is our currency. So their currency was marks. So he was asking, what did you do with the marks that I gave you? So at that time, Antipholus hit him. Romeo was telling, the only marks I have is that which you gave me now, of the hit that you gave me now. I have no other marks. And sir, please, your wife is hungry and she is begging for you to come home soon. So Antipholus was very angry and he was telling, I have told you not to play jokes on me, and he hit him very hard. In those days, the masters were allowed to punish the attendants, but these days it is punishable offense. You will go to prison if you punish an attendant. So Dromio was telling, sir, please keep your hands, please hold your hands, please don't beat me, or I'll take to my heels. Take to my heels means I'll run away. The meaning of take to my heels means run away. Okay. Antipholus of Syracuse, my God, this rascal has done something with all my money. They say this town is wicked, corrupt, full of cheats and swindlers. That is true. I better leave the place quickly. I'll go now to the inn and look for the rascal. I'm terrified that my money is not safe. Exit Antipholus of Syracuse. He goes up from that scene. Antipholus of Syracuse finds his gold safe at inn. He also meets Dromio of Syracuse and scolds him for having played a strange prank on him. Dromio is confused because he does not understand what Antipholus means. He was at the inn all along waiting for his master. In the meanwhile, Dromio of Ephesus goes back home and tells Adriana, wife of Ephesus, Antipholus of Ephesus, what happened. Adriana is very upset and along with Luciana, her sister, goes in search of her husband. But she runs into Antipholus of Syracuse instead. Scene 2, the inn. Enter Antipholus and Dromio of Syracuse, Adriana and Luciana. Antipholus of Syracuse. Dromio, who are these women that are waving at us? So Dromio of Ephesus goes from the scene, and then Antipholus is telling to himself, my God, that idiot has done something with that money. I have heard that this place is full of wicked, corrupt people, full of cheats. So better I'll go back to the inn and look for my money and have a look at everything, have a look whether everything is safe. And he goes back and he finds that his money is safe and Dromio has taken care of it very well. But he he scolds Dromio for having played such a strange prank on him. So Dromio's confused. He did not go out anywhere. He was waiting for this master to come back, and he was also taking care of the money. He did not go out anywhere. So he was thinking what this master is telling. He was confused. At that time, Dromio of Ephesus has gone to Antipholus of Ephesus' house and told his wife and his sister that this way the master is behaving in this way. So they were very upset, and the wife of Antipholus of Ephesus, Adriana, and along with her sister Luciana, they came out in search of Antipholus of Ephesus. But actually that runs into means they meet by mistake, they meet Antipholus of Syracuse. And the next scene is the inn. In the inn, these four people are there: Antipholus and Dromio of Syracuse and Adriana and Luciana. And Antipholus of Syracuse was still asking Dromio, who are these strange women waving at us as if they know us? Adriana, yes, yes. Antipholus looked confused and frowned. I suppose I am neither Adriana nor your wife. There was a time when no words sounded sweet to your ears unless I spoke them. You liked looking at nothing unless I showed it to you. You liked touching nothing unless I had touched it. And you would eat no food unless I prepared and served it. Why have you become such a stranger? Don't tear yourself away from me. Be faithful to me and come back. Antipholus of Syracuse, are you talking to me? I have been in Ephesus just these last 2 hours. Your town is unknown to me as you are. I'm trying hard, but I can't understand a word you say. Luciana, shame on you, brother-in-law. Why are you treating my sister like this? She sent Dromio to bring you home for lunch. So Adriana was she was telling some sweet words. She was telling, oh, now you don't know me. There was a time when only my sound was sweet to you, nothing else was sweet to you. And only if I showed you something, you would look at it. Otherwise, you won't look at it. Only if I prepared a food, you would eat it. And only if I touched something, you would touch it. Otherwise, you would ignore it. And now you don't know. You're telling that you don't even know me. Why have you become such a stranger? Please don't go away from me. Be faithful to me. She thought that he's cheating on her. He has got some other affair or something. So she was telling, don't cheat on me. Be faithful to me and come back, please. Antipholus was telling, are you talking to me itself? I have been in this place only for the past 2 hours, and I don't know this town itself, and I'm trying hard, but I can't understand what you're telling. Luciana means Adriana's sister. It is very shame on you, brother-in-law. Why are you treating my sister like this? She loves you so much, and she had sent Romeo to bring you home for lunch. And why didn't you come home for lunch? Her sister also supported her. And now the meaning of corrupt and swindlers is given here. Corrupt means using power in a dishonest or illegal way in order to get advantage for yourself. Means it's like bribery or something. Corrupt means wrong way of doing things. Swindlers means people who cheat to get money. Now this is the pun. Now we are coming to another section, pun. Pun means a play on words based on the multiple meanings of a single word, on words that sound alike or on words that sounds alike but mean different things. So it is a play with the words. We use the same words in a funny manner. For example, our Dromio has used marks to say express currency, but at the same time, Dromio is telling about the mark that he got after the hit. That means a real mark, not the currency. So like that, playful words. It will be comical. It is like a play of words. So we'll see these examples. I met this girl in internet cafe, but we did not click. Here, click has a meaning that clicking on the computer. As they met in the internet cafe, he has used the word click to mention that they did not talk to each other or they did not get acquainted with each other. He has played with the word click because he used it when that internet cafe was here. He used the word here. That's why. So you understood what is a pun. Now another one is the failure of largest manufacturer of babies toys was enough to rattle the entire industry. Rattle the entire industry means, see, rattle. This is a rattle which babies play. So as this sentence is about a baby toy manufacturing industry, they have used the word rattle to mean that it did not make an impact on the industry or it did not create a sound. Means it did not create any change in the industry because it was a failure. It was a failure, it did not create a sound in the industry. It did not create an impact. So he could have used the word sound or impact here, but this word rattle is used here to play with words. This is rattle to make this kind of sound. Rattling is the sound of this toy. So they have used this word here because they talked about babies' toys, the manufacture of babies' toys. So that is used in a very interesting way. It makes the language interesting. Now vocabulary. See, this is about pun. A pun is play on words. A pun uses words that have several meanings. It also uses words that sound similar but have different meanings. You get this line from Romeo's explanation. It's 12 o'clock and the mistress is hot, but the food is getting cold. Here we can say about the temperature, but actually Romeo mentioned it about the anger. So he has used it in a comical way to say that it is used along with the word cold. So we can think that mistress temperature is hot. At the same time, we can also relate. We can also think that her uh, her feeling is of anger. So both we can use, but it is used along with the word cold. That's why we get the good. The beauty of that language. The word hot in the above line is used to mean angry or in a temper. However, because it is used with the word cold, it becomes amusing. See, it becomes amusing if you use such words in your language. Almost as though the mister herself is warm compared to the cold food. We can also think of that way. Her body is hot because of when it is compared to the cold food. But actually, he meant it to use anger. Try to find another instance in the play where Shakespeare makes use of different meanings a word can have. What effect does this have on the play? Just find another instance from this text. Now, these are the self-check questions. Try answering these questions. If you are not able to answer them, just read your textbook again. And if you have any doubts, please do call me. Now, this is your TM. You imagine you meet someone whom you wrongly think is the brother of a friend you have not met in a long time. Write the conversation that might take place between two of you until you find that you have made a mistake. You may enact the dialogue with a friend if you like. You won't be able to enact it because you're in an online classroom. If it was in a real classroom, we could have enacted it. See, what you have to do is you saw a person. You misunderstood that it is the brother of one of your friends. But you are having a talk with each other. Later on, you understand that you have made a mistake. So what you have to do is you have to write the conversation between you two. Thank you for listening. Take care. Bye-bye. Have a beautiful Eid.